for LEEA, and I'm here with Archie Newbold, who is the Mechanical and Electrical Engineering student at Robert Gordon University in Aberdeen. Archie, you recently received the LEEA Award for Outstanding Performance in a Lifting Project. Congratulations. Can you tell me a little bit more about this?
The award itself, I won it for my final year project, which was to develop a predictive maintenance system for offshore cranes or on vessels or in harbours. And the whole idea was that I developed a machine learning algorithm using historic lift data or running data collected from current cranes on offshore platforms, and the machine learning algorithm was designed so that you would use this historic data to then determine as and when cranes would either need maintenance or roughly when the components would fail so that they could be then changed out, which from a sort of maintenance point of view is quite beneficial because at the moment maintenance costs quite a lot of money and it's done off a more preventative rather than predictive system. So there's no guarantee that the money you're spending is actually going to see any issues occur with the system. Essentially, most of the time you're doing it to prevent the failure, whereas with predictive you can carry out the maintenance when you know roughly the failure is going to occur, so that you're spending your money more wisely essentially and saving more money, which following the oil crash in Aberdeen would be quite beneficial because obviously it would save a lot of money for companies that are a bit more money tight, I would say.
And where did you receive your awards?
So I was awarded it at the Robert Gordon University in the Surrey Wood building, which is the main engineering building for the university. So there was a wee sort of ceremony where they handed out all the awards and I got to meet the representatives from LEEA, the head of School of Engineering, and then also a few of the senior lecturers, and I got to collect my award and network with them and speak to them about lifting and sort of future studies.
How did you hear about the award?
I actually heard about the award when we got our final transcripts. So when we finish and we do all our exams, once they've all been marked, you get given your final transcript with all of your sort of grades on it. So it first comes up in the additions box to say that you've been awarded a special prize, and you have to contact your project leader. And then from there, he told me that I'd been awarded this. And then a few weeks later, I got the official email congratulating me and then telling me about the award ceremony and everything like that. It's quite a nice feeling to know that 7-8 months worth of work was being honoured and they'd actually had a look at it and said that it's worth an award, which was quite rewarding for me anyway.
And tell us a little bit more about the course that you're studying at Robert Gordon.
The course that I'm studying, it's mechanical and electrical engineering, and it's done on a fast track programme. So generically in Scotland, if you do a master's, it's done over 5 years, whereas with this one, it's done in 4 years. And between your third and fourth year, and then after your fourth year, you do 2 summer placements. So as part of the placement, you obviously go into a company and you work with the company for a minimum of 10 weeks. And then there's also a set amount of reviews that you need to do. And then there's a final report and a logbook that you keep throughout the whole placement. And then at the end of it, it all gets marked and then you get given your final grade. After you go back for your fourth year, that's when you do your final project or your dissertation. So with the fast track students, we do ours with the company that we just did a summer placement with. So that's where my one came in with Alitas. And because I'd been doing quite a lot of automation and sort of maintenance strategies when I was here originally, that's when my final year project came around and we put it together and we decided to look to move towards a more predictive maintenance idea, which is what the company's looking at implementing anyway. So the sort of work that I was doing was underpinning and supporting already started projects that the company are looking to take forwards and use in the future anyway. The project itself was partnered with Alitas UK. I pulled together the main sort of elements that were used were the design engineers and the automation engineers, because obviously for the machine learning, and then there was FEA and proof calculations that I had to do to prove that what the machine learning algorithm was outputting was actually correct, essentially. So that's where the 2 main bodies came from. Brendan Forbes, the group technical director, he was basically my mentor and he still is for my second placement currently. And he oversaw the whole project and sort of ran it. And then I also gained from the university a more sort of academic support. So your technical support and body of the report was done between myself and Alitas. And then the university provided the academic under supporting to make sure that I actually hit the criteria needed for a dissertation as well to get me my final grade, which I was quite happy with as well.
Can you tell us what your final grade was?
So overall, it was good. I got a B in the end of it, which I was quite chuffed with, considering like the amount of work, because there was things that personally I would probably go back and change and mess around with. But I suppose that's the same with like every major project or project you do, you'd always nitpick. Getting the award on top of that was the icing on the cake, because the award to me was more rewarding and beneficial than the mark itself.
So what's next for you?
Well, moving forwards, I've obviously got to finish up my uni studies and I've got a few exams left. So hopefully that will be done by the end of August. But then I'll be coming back and joining the team at Altas full time as a graduate engineer. And then from there, I suppose it's just starting my career and working forwards. I've got a few small goals that I've set for myself, or relatively small, over the next sort of 10 years that I want to try and achieve, with the main one being accreditation to become a chartered engineer by the end of it. But yeah, for the first few years, I'm just going to see how it goes and then try and fit everything else around that and go from there.
Well, congratulations, you deserve it.
Thank you very much. It is very much appreciated.